just thought I'd take a short break just to let you know about becoming a Breakout Bestie. So we've launched a brand new subscription service for the small businesses that need us in your pocket. So why do you need to become a Breakout Bestie? Well, it's just a monthly subscription that gives you access to us when you need us. There's a closed group where you can ask us any question you need. There's also an anonymous posting on, so if you've got clients in the same group, you can ask us anything and we'll get back to you. Sometimes that'll be a quick answer, other times it might be that we need a bit more of an in-depth chat. There'll also be posts and information on the latest trends, the latest strategies for social media, upcoming things from HMRC that you may have missed, just anything you need to make your life easier to run your business. You'll also have access to our client base and money off discounts and vouchers for various services we've got coming out. This is brand new, it's only just been launched, so have a look, go on our website under Besties and sign up soon.
If we also think of that longer form video, like this conversation with the podcast we record with various guests, various different themes.
Yeah.
But also we capture the video for it, because then that then creates content for your short form posts.
Hi and welcome to Business Rainbows and Unicorns, where there's no such thing as failure if you don't try. This podcast is specifically for business owners or wannabe business owners. Say you've got a side hustle or you've got a passion for something and you think it'd be absolutely amazing, or you see people that do amazing things with their passions and what they enjoy doing. Well, you can do that. So please subscribe and we hope you enjoy listening to this episode. Hi and welcome to Breakout Business Rainbows and Unicorns, where there's no such thing as failure if you don't try. So today we are talking to Liam from Record and Repurpose. Hello, Liam.
Hiya, you're right.
About short form versus long form video. So for people like myself, that means the difference between, if you've seen that YouTube do now shorts, which is similar to TikTok videos and Instagram reels, even though they have extended the length of an Instagram reel, versus a YouTube video, which can be hours.
Hours, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, and the benefits of each, why you'd do each, what you'd need, and yeah, about monetizing it. So anything and everything about short form versus long form. So we know that short is easier to record because obviously you can just do anything and throw it up nowadays. Yeah. But what is best?
Okay, so it is all down to what you want to achieve. Like anything, like with some of the podcast episodes we record and you're talking about what kind of marketing to go for, it is all about what you want to achieve. But generally, the rule of thumb is what I'd say is long form is the one to go for. Mm-hmm. Now, the way that I look at it is that short form is something that's a bit more casual. Mm-hmm. It's a bit more of a, people are just looking for something to watch, and it's very much got a shorter life than a long form piece of content. So you'll know if you've created something on Instagram or TikTok or even YouTube Shorts, you've put it up there, and for a couple of days it will generate some views, maybe a week, let's say. Let's be generous. It's probably going to be a matter of hours if we're honest. But as soon as you put it up, it's already getting reduced to be lower and lower into the feed. Yeah. Obviously, there's going to be algorithms, and if it performs well, then it will kind of stay in that more high performing position. But after that day, after that week, it's going to be old news, and people are going to be looking for that new thing. And if you think about the process of how people consume that information, it's very much a swipe activity. Yeah. You're like, right, I've watched that. Oh, great. You might, if you're lucky, get a heart. Yeah. You might, if you're lucky, very, very lucky, get a comment or a DM. But it's very much, right, I've watched that now. What's the next thing? Yeah. On to the next.
That dopamine hit.
The dopamine. It's all about that dopamine hit, isn't it? How many hours have we all lost? Yeah. Like thinking, I didn't really come on here for here, but I got my attention grabbed by this video, and then I naturally swiped to the next one, to the next one, to the next one.
But also how much of it you consume and remember as well. Yeah. Because you're swiping through so quick, I can't tell you.
Yeah, the last 5 videos, let alone...
No, exactly. Unless I have to read it. So I'm a bit of a pain on our breakout TikTok that I like the Reddit stories.
Yep.
So I obviously swipe left to read the Reddit stories. So that holds on for longer, which you don't necessarily get on Instagram. Whereas Instagram, I watch to get inspired for what we need. But whereas long form, I don't do YouTube shorts. I'm not the demographic. I don't sit on there. But on YouTube videos, I would assume, or my thing would be, surely if you've got something to teach or educate, that would be the main place to be.
Absolutely. And I'm certainly not coining this phrase, but if you think of the phrase education, so, or edutainment, should I say?
Yeah.
So entertainment and education, I think are two things to think about. Like with a shorter video, you're thinking you want to catch somebody's attention, you want to promote something that's happening now. Yeah. So like, you know, today we've had a bit of biblical weather. We've had all kinds of weather today.
It's currently sunny. It might hail in about 20 minutes. We don't know.
And so part of your content creation process was, right, let's say something about it being crazy weather outside at the moment. Whereas on YouTube, you wouldn't necessarily post that as a longer form piece of content. No. Because one, by the time you've posted that video, when you've done some editing, it's going to be a little bit out of date. Yeah. So I would say that perhaps, you know, the shorter form content, your reels, the stories, the TikToks, maybe they're going to be a bit more like your live feed, the news kind of section, like what's happening now, what can people expect. But when we're thinking about the longer form, it is going to be more of that educational based or even entertainment, because as we've been discussing this morning with some of your celebrity status around the village, people are interested about what you're doing. It's not always about the education piece. Sometimes people just want to be familiar with you. You know, there's a really famous YouTuber called Casey Neistat who brought vlogging out to be like one of the popular mediums on there. And quite often he would have something to say, but it would be a very minute, very small section of his video. But people turned up because they wanted to see what his journey through New York was that day. He'd always go for a skateboard in the middle of New York traffic. He'd have a drone shot. He'd do all this kind of storytelling as part of what he was doing. But people would turn up because they were nosy, and people would want to have that relationship with him. Yeah. And now he can't walk down New York without like, Casey being shouted at him, because people relate to him. So definitely there is an element there of the storytelling, of the people wanting to catch up with you and to see that mini segment of your life. And we're all nosy. Yeah, essentially. Definitely. Facebook, that's kind of what we're doing with the videos and the photos on there. But definitely if you're thinking it from a business point of view, if you're able to provide some of that value in sense of the knowledge you got, the expertise you've got, solving somebody's problem, then that's going to help you. Yeah.
And the thing is, it's that, because I find now, if I Google how to do something or to find out about something, that's when it comes up. That's when I'll watch a YouTube clip of, I know there's a lot of memes out there at the moment of, I'd like to be rich enough that when something breaks in my house, I don't have to YouTube Google how to fix it. You can just call someone and fix it for you. So I think that's, and I'm guessing, or when, depending how you want to take your business, if you want to teach people or explain stuff, then that's where or explain something in more than a minute, a bit like the podcast, that's when you take it to YouTube, because you can have a still on it, can't you? You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a whole video. You can have it with a chat.
I mean, if we think of it as well, the podcast is available on YouTube. So people can listen to the podcast while just having that static image. So you can be creative with it. You don't have to be on camera. Yeah. You can have some, what I would call B-roll, or some footage of you doing something and doing a voiceover. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be like, there's quite a lot of videos out there of landscape companies. They're getting on and doing the job, and they're just talking over, explaining, you know, at the moment we're digging up this bit because of this, that and the other. Or we're taking out this fence post because of this, that and the other, and we're going to replace it with a concrete one so it's got the stability and that kind of thing. And they're not necessarily teaching people how to do it. They're not saying, right, you know, you got to mix your concrete like this, or you've got to, you know, make sure it's dug deep enough and all that kind of stuff that I have no idea about. So by the way, I'm not a fencing expert, but what they are doing is they're displaying their expertise. They're telling their audience without saying I'm an expert.
Yeah.
They're saying, we know what we're talking about here, and this is the kind of thing that we could provide to you.
Yeah.
So that is another reason why they're framing it as the vlog, or they're framing it as the, spend a day with us.
Yeah.
But actually they're saying, look at this amazing fencing project that we're doing here, this re-landscaping of this person's property. And it's just planting that seed that we are the go-to people.
Yeah.
And you should be coming to us. So as well as the monetization options that we'll come to in a second, it's also building that level of trust with people, building that demonstration of expertise that this person, Farley is the go-to person to get that business support.
Yeah.
The fencing company is that go-to person when I'm in that position that I've got some money to then redevelop the garden or whatever it happens to be. Yeah.
And I think that at the end of the day, it's just that other form of marketing. So if you can, long form show. So for example, landscape gardener being a cracking example, because they can post up and talk about as much as possible, like, oh, I'm a great landscaper. Well, actually, you want to see their portfolio. Well, back in the day, you'd go and see them. They'd have photos and a flip book of their portfolio, before and afters, all the obviously the planning stages of what they've done. However, that's where the videos help them even more, because you can see all the stages. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a investment to get the video set up, to post it out, X, Y, and Z, and do all of that to get it on YouTube. But actually, the adverts and the money coming back in terms of new followers, watchers, and then subsequent potential clients, a separate issue in terms of, obviously, if you want to attract people internationally or locally, but it depends on what you want to do. But if your video is good enough, it will go out internationally. And then that's a passive income, if it's that good, that you'll get that income. But I would say, before we say how you start making money out of it, you obviously need some substance and some passion, not just go on YouTube, I want to make loads of money. Because how many kids you talk to now, what do you want to do when you're older? I want to be a YouTube star. Yes.
And yeah, it's a misconception. I think I love that you brought up the word passive income, because that gets thrown about quite a lot. And I think people have that, they're misled by that idea of like, well, yeah, sure, I want to make money for free. Who doesn't? But it's not passive in the sense of that you don't have to do anything. I refer to it as preloaded. So you've done the hard work up front. You've created that video. You've put that effort in. You've got the expertise. And you're demonstrating that in the case of this as a YouTube video. If it becomes passive after you've done that hard work and you've posted it up and promoted it.
Yeah.
So if you've made that video available, the other reason, and you mentioned it a minute ago, when somebody is looking for help in some kind of area, when somebody's got a problem, what are they doing? They're Googling it. Now, there is an argument, and I'll put my hands up, that people from a younger generation maybe are now potentially looking on TikTok for the short form content.
Yeah.
But if they're looking for that deep knowledge, that deep level of expertise, they're going to go to Google because they want to find that. And then Google owns YouTube.
Yeah.
So the most powerful search engine in the world owns YouTube, which is the second most popular search engine in the world, because YouTube's still a search engine.
Yeah.
And that's why longer form content, in the sense of this video, will benefit your business, because you've put that hard work in, and yes, it's that upfront investment of recording it, doing the editing, getting it up there. But once that's there, it's working for you if you position it right as an evergreen piece of content.
Yeah.
So it's something that can live forever. And where we were talking about the short form content of being a bit more casual, but it's got that sell by date, it goes past very quickly.
Yeah.
A longer form video can have that element of SEO.
Yeah.
So you can have that search engine optimization for when people are searching in YouTube, your video will come up. And then once people start to watch your videos, they'll start to build that level of trust with you. And once they build that level of trust with you, that's when it can go on to further phone calls and inquiries and things like that.
Yeah. Or just more and more videos that then you build your watch hours, you build your views. And some people, that's all they do. They put out. If you look at those younger kids, my 9-year-old watches them where they've just unpacking a gift they've been sent for free, and then they show playing with it. That's their whole channel.
Yes.
Like, I'm not ringing them up to go, oh, can my child come and play with you?
People have made a whole business about it.
Yeah.
Like, my son does the same. I remember when, it's a little while since he watched them now, but I remember he used to like the little animals that you'd get.
Yeah.
And one lady had made a whole business out of purchasing these sets. I think it was Playmobil or it was the proper animal sets. I can't remember the brand of them, but they're not cheap. They're the ones you get at the zoo that are like £7 per little tiny toy.
Yeah.
But she would literally buy a new product, unbox it with a nice like jingle behind it, and play with it a little bit. And my son would watch them, and he'd want to watch the next one, the next one, the next one. So she's getting that watch time. She's got that subscriber because that is the now go-to person to watch these videos. But if you think about it as well, she's either buying it or being sent the product.
Yeah.
So she potentially is not spending any money on the product.
No.
But then she's also got an affiliate link in the show notes. So, Dad, I really want this toy. Okay, where do I go? Look in the description. There's a link there. She's getting a kickback. She's getting some money from me buying it. She's made that video, taking her a couple of hours to make. And then she's getting loads of potential
possibilities.
The adverts as well. So just from people watching it.
Yeah. It's funny because I was looking for a Pilates video the other day. And there was one, they said she's really, really good. But all the comments were, can you turn off the adverts? Because you'd be in the middle of a 10, 15 minute session and whatever. But especially because it's quite obviously a bit like yoga, it's relaxing. And then all of a sudden it's like, hi, an advert. It's like, can you just take the adverts off?
Do you need NordVPN?
Yeah, exactly.
This podcast isn't sponsored by NordVPN, but they can if anyone
if you're listening, if you want to sponsor this, feel free. But it takes, obviously, so with the shorts, YouTube shorts, you need 500 subscribers and just 3 uploads. 3 uploads is obviously really easy to do. And then 3,000 hours watched in a year, or 3 million views in 90 days.
13 million views.
Is it 13 million views?
I'm pretty sure.
But then long form, you need 1,000 subscribers. It's 4,000 hours.
Yeah.
And then 10 million. No, because long form was 10 million, whereas the short form was 3 million, I think.
I beg your pardon, you're right. It was 3 million.
I'm always right.
We'll remember that for next time.
We'll remember that. So Farley is always right. So so that's quite a lot. So bearing in mind, if you look at the Breakout YouTube channel, and if you'd like to join our 16 subscribers, please do, because we're well on our way to our 500. But you'll notice the podcast goes up, as Liam said, with the still, so you can listen to it that way. We've had our 3 uploads, but the hours and views are very, very low. Now, hands up, I don't regularly post on there. I'm not good at doing it consistently because actually we get more interaction from Instagram. So we haven't had our focus on there, but hands up, it's on the to-do list for 2024, quarter of the way through, still not got there, but there you go. So, but it is a long way to go. But if you look at someone who's, whatever you do, whatever your business is, and you think, do you know what, I could do that. Like I say with everything, be inspired by someone. Don't copy them. And you can't copy them because you're not them anyway, because it's you and your brand. But you can pretty much put anything within reason on YouTube and make some money out of it.
Yeah.
Really. That's simplifying it probably too much, but
yeah, I mean, you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of pounds for professional studios. But obviously the more you can the more relevant you are, I think the more relatable you are. I think, somebody can invest into like a posh studio and be really unrelatable, and then people won't watch. Yeah. Whereas we could throw up a couple of cameras, you could get your smartphone camera and record like a long form video that way. Do a little bit of light editing on some free platforms that are out there that you can use. You don't have to spend lots and lots of money on it. But if you can create a story, you can create a video that people relate to, and they trust you, then that's why they're going to come back and watch. And interestingly, I think that people get scared by the by the fact that it's 4,000 hours worth of watch time in a year.
Yeah.
Whereas actually, if you're thinking about it, if you've got 1,000 subscribers, if we do the maths on this, 1,000 subscribers, but it's 4,000 hours of watch time. But if we split that down into minutes,
Yeah.
240,000 minutes worth of watch time in a year.
Yeah.
But if we divide that by our 1,000 subscribers, because hopefully we're going to get subscribers who are actually turning up and wanting to show up and watch our videos.
Watch and watch the latest episode.
That's 240 minutes.
Yeah.
And let's say we're only going to release one video a month.
Yeah.
If we release one video a month, that's one subscriber, or each of our 1,000 subscribers watching 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But if we divided that and said, actually, we're going to be a bit more consistent and have 4 videos, a video a week, then that's what each of our subscribers for watching for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you can get your 1,000 subscribers coming back and
5
watching
minutes.
for 5 minutes a week, that's doable.
Nothing, is it?
That's doable. And then if you multiply that up by 2,000 subscribers, it's a lot less minutes that they have to watch.
Yeah.
So it is achievable.
Yeah.
It just seems a bit daunting at the start with anything.
Yeah.
I guess is the
And
same.
also, it's then looking up to see who would you look at, who are you inspired by, what do you want to do? Because we've got so many people, and even you'll recognise people locally. But again, like anything, you can really niche it down to what you want to do and what you want to talk about. So a bit like we said on another podcast about Rishi Sunak's YouTube channel. I've searched for him recently because we recorded it earlier, but it's the...
Guess who's popping up?
Yeah, guess who's now popping up. Now, he don't need the passive income. However, he's now communicating, and if you look how his page is set up, and yes, he gets a lot of trolls, a lot of negative comments, but it's all comments, it's all watch time. They're all adding to those 4,000 and 10 million. So positive or negative, yes, could probably do a whole nother episode on the negative effects of social media and YouTube and comments and trolls.
Yeah.
But if we keep it positive, he hit that really, really quickly. I mean, he's got over 500,000 subscribers, so that's fine.
I mean, he has got a little bit of advantage being the Prime Minister.
Yeah,
so
but
he will have a team.
What does the Prime Minister know about YouTube?
He will have some exposure, but like, I bet in your town, wherever you're listening to this, I bet in your town, in your village, there is going to be somebody who's making money out of YouTube
100%.
for like random different reasons.
Yeah.
I come across a guy who was selling something on Facebook Marketplace. It was a bit of a weird product. I won't name the person, but they were...
I thought you were going to say I won't name the product, and it's going to be something really...
No, it's not that
This
obscure.
is not suitable for...
So the product was like how do I describe it? It was for like when you're doing video games for racing cars. It was like a rig, like a seat, the pedals, the steering wheel, the gear stick and everything. Yeah. And it's one of them, and I thought...
Random.
How random to see that. So then I had a little bit of a look on the person's profile.
Yeah.
And then it linked to their YouTube. Yeah. So I did the classic stalking. And it linked to their YouTube channel. I thought, oh, they've got a YouTube channel. And this guy's got thousands of followers.
Wow.
Absolutely thousands, like I think tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people. He's selling the product because he's done a review of the product on his channel.
Probably sent it for free.
Probably got it for free. Doesn't want it anymore. So what's he going to do? Make some money out of the product that they've just sent it to him. And then he's already going to get the views as well. So he's building a business off of being an enthusiast for driving computer games. Yeah. Absolutely
it's
amazing.
Like the classic Zoella started somewhere, didn't she?
Yeah.
And now look at her. She just throws up a few stories now and again.
Got Joe Wicks as well. He's another big example of it. He started off literally just doing a workout fitness routine for people to follow on.
Yeah.
I like your example of the Pilates class. I think people should be clever about it.
Yeah.
So when you've got YouTube, and if you are in that position to get monetized, don't forget to subscribe to Breakout to make sure that happens quicker.
Yeah. Join our 16 subscribers.
Come on, we want at least 100 by the end of this episode.
And we can bring out more videos and more podcasts.
So once you do get monetized, you've got the option to put a video at the front.
Yeah.
You've got an option to put a video at the end. And if it's long enough...
So you choose that?
So you can choose that. So you've got the option then to say, like, we'll have an advert at minute 4.
Yeah.
So if the Pilates teacher was clever, she might just say, right, we're going to just have a break now.
Yeah.
just 2 minutes, we're going to hear from a sponsor, which helps to pay for this free resource for you to use.
Yeah.
And then a sponsor comes in.
Yeah.
And then you go on to the next one. So you could be a little bit clever about it, or she could just cut out that middle video.
Yeah.
And just have them at the front at the end.
Yeah. Well, it's like Philippa Gunn and her art. She wants to grow her YouTube channel. So again, go and search Philippa Gunn Art and subscribe. No, she's not paying me for this. But it's a classic example. You're learning how to paint with her or watching a technique with her. She could then say, okay, grab a cuppa. We're going to just have a couple of adverts. While you grab a cuppa, go to the toilet, whatever it might be, wash your brushes and use it that way. So then she can still have the advert in, but it's just giving people a heads up that they can just take a break for a minute. So.
Yeah. Or perfect with her example, I'm sure there's at times where she needs the paint to dry a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
classic example.
So like, you've just painted your background, but let's not add anything to it just yet because it's going to run and you're going to muck up what we've just done.
Yeah.
So go get yourself a cuppa. We're going to run an advert.
Yeah.
To help support this free resource that you're getting.
Yeah.
Because I think that's another thing. People get annoyed, but it's a free resource.
Yeah.
Like YouTube is a version of telly.
Yeah.
That people used to have to pay hundreds and hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds for a television program to be produced. Whereas now we've got the ability to put it out there for free.
We had a client in the other day, and because Andy had done his computer, and he's downloaded some software. So every time he logged in, the pop-up would come up every time he went online. And he said, well, every time I go on online, this pop-up comes up. I went, yeah, it's trying to get you to update and pay for this ad-free software. Well, yeah, because I don't want to watch the ads on YouTube. I'm like, that's not going to remove your ads on YouTube. It's the person making the YouTube video that's chosen the ads. He was like, no. It said on it, if I sign up for it, then I won't see any adverts. I'm like, I can tell you now, whether you even pay for it, you will still see the ads on their YouTube channel because that's how they're making money.
There is some truth to it. So because you can become a member of YouTube, you can pay to subscribe.
Oh, pay premium sort of thing.
And if you pay for the premium, then the adverts do get removed.
Oh, yeah. No, he hadn't done that.
But
so my YouTube, so if you look, because I've just brought YouTube up on the screen that we've got, it's very much not necessarily who I've subscribed to. So there are people I've subscribed to, but there's also people who are really, really popular. So Mr. Beast, 258 million views on the video from 2 years ago. So you can just imagine on that one. But also there's a couple of others because I follow them on Instagram. So, or it's something, so I'd searched for Philippa the other day because she'd been in. So I've got a couple of art things. I've got another one that's come up that my daughter would like. That will be because she was on our account for something else the other day. So it's the same as that whole, you're searching for, or we're talking about something and the phone's listening. The phone's listening and YouTube's listening, but it's also what I've Googled recently, what I'm following on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's very much, so I don't follow or I don't subscribe to some of these people. Well, most of these people I don't subscribe for many at all. But it's something I've either searched for recently or I have, I've come into contact with.
YouTube's algorithm, so people talk about the algorithm all the time.
The dark art of the algorithm. The algorithm's working against me.
But if we break down the algorithm to be a simplistic idea of it's trying to deliver you content that's going to get you to stay on the platform.
Yeah,
they want you to be on that platform for as long as possible, watching as many videos for as long a time as possible. So it is going to do that research. It's going to kind of know from your YouTube searches, your Google searches, what kind of thing you're looking for. Yeah. But it's also going to be very much paying attention to how long you're watching something for. Yeah. Are you clicking on that description to read through what they've said? Yeah. Are you then clicking onto another video after, or are you just watching that one and going? Yeah. And it's always trying to suggest. So my experience will be different to yours. Yeah. And somebody else's experience will be something different. Yeah. I used to work for a training provider, and we got told we couldn't use YouTube, we couldn't embed YouTube videos because some of the adverts that were suggested brought up like swastikas and Nazi, like historical Nazi content. Oh wow! And I desperately tried to explain. It was very difficult because
that's awkward.
It was a director or a CEO of the company. I can't remember which, but it was like, well, the adverts have just suggested something that it thinks that you're gonna
They're all gonna like.
So I don't know if they're just a history buff and whatever, but they were like, "Oh, we can't have our students seeing this," and I was like,
"But the students wouldn't see that.
They're gonna get whatever they've searched for."
Yeah,
so
yeah.
YouTube's trying to hold them in. But
That's really awkward.
Yeah, that was I had to phrase it very gently.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, that's a way of talking.
But yeah, YouTube is going to try and get it on there. I think one thing that we haven't talked about in, whether people should do long form or short form, definitely think about, what it is that you're trying to promote at that time. Think about that, 5 years down the line. Let's try and be committed to this as much as possible. It's all about consistency. So if you can commit to doing one video a month, that's brilliant. That's consistent to what it is that you're doing. If it is that you can commit to a video a day, even better. YouTube's going to love it. But obviously try and make the best video you possibly can.
Yeah.
But if we also think of that longer form video, like this conversation with the podcast we record with various guests, various different themes.
Yeah.
But also we capture the video for it, because then that then creates content for your short form posts. So something that people often forget about is that, I can't remember how you phrased it, flip it.
Lift and shift.
Lift and shift. I think of it like, as part of my business name is, Record and Repurpose. So it's not thinking, right, I've done that YouTube video, that's now there.
Yeah.
But how can I utilize the conversation, a clip from that video?
Yeah.
What's an interesting part that I can then
use to
promote? So if you're creating that longer form video, listen through. And if there's like a 30-second, like, oh my God, what Farley said there was amazing, or what Liam said there was brilliant.
Yeah.
Then you can clip that 30 seconds up, export it into a different orientation, so it's that portrait.
I was going to say, because it's shorts a portrait and long form's landscape, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But you can do that easily.
In one of the phone editing apps, it's really easy.
Okay.
Really easy to switch.
Yeah.
You just choose the dimensions when you're going through the settings. The other benefit for doing it on YouTube is that if you've done a long form video, this is something Philippa does very well. She'll have a longer form video, and then from that you can actually clip up a short.
Yeah.
So you can get to a certain point in the video, and then you can select minute 1:27 to minute 1:32, and you can specify that as a short. And if you've done it in YouTube, then there'll be a little link. So if somebody sees the short and thinks, oh, I like that, it will take them to the longer form video, because they, again, want people to stay on the platform.
Yeah. And that, I think, is it's almost that why not. So if you're just doing short form, which is absolutely fine, by the way, because that might, like you say, it might be more casual. You've not got enough, or you've got no interest in doing long form. That's fine. However, on the flip side, if you're doing long form, then why wouldn't you chop that up and just put a few short form videos on it? If you've got the content already, it's not going to take long to just take a slice of that and put it out there, is it? So
yeah, absolutely.
And you might get to your 3 million views quicker than.
And I think the thing to stress, like when people often talk to me about YouTube and longer form video, longer form content in general, is it's not necessarily going to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
As much as you might think you're hilarious, as much as you might have all the expertise in the world, people need to trust you.
Yeah.
The algorithm needs to know that you're producing good content. You need to get in the rhythm of it. The first time you recorded a podcast.
Yeah.
Like if you listen back to that.
We have to do a before and after soon, won't we? Yeah. Like, this is the first one. She doesn't say all the time now.
Yeah, we'll do like an counter or something.
Up with so much heavily editing. It's like.
But you're going to get better naturally as you go, and you're going to get in your comfort zone, and you're going to figure out what works, what doesn't, and it's that longer. If you can commit to it with that consistency for that longer form, people think, I've done it for a month now and I'm not monetized. Yeah. Congratulations, but like there's been people doing it for a lot longer.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Some of the videos and the comparisons that I helped Phil with, like other art channels have been going for 10 years. Yeah. But now they've got 10 million viewers. Yeah. So it's that chicken and egg. You got to think of it with that longer focus, similar to your business.
And same with the algorithm, isn't it? Because it's like if everyone's watching this one that's been going for 10 years, if yours is similar, it's then more likely to be recommended as well. Like, well, if you like this one, you might like this one as well. So it's It's just getting it right.
Yeah. And YouTube's algorithm is interesting because we mentioned how the shorter form content is very much time bound, and after a certain amount of time, you're likely not to be shown to new people.
Yeah.
With YouTube, it will first of all show your followers your videos.
Yeah.
And it will say, right, do your followers like this, and have they watched it? But then it will start thinking about the title.
Yeah.
What are people searching for?
Yeah.
And then your videos might start to pop up.
Yeah.
And they might get what they call impressions, so they'll be shown to people.
Yeah.
And then if your thumbnail is attractive, so if people like the look of what it is that you put as that little image at the start,
yeah.
if you've got an appealing title that relates to that person or to solves that person's issue or to provide them value in some kind of way,
yeah,
then they're going to click onto it. And then once they clicked onto it, how long do they watch for?
Yeah.
It kind of takes all this into account. And then some videos, I know Philippa's got an example where it didn't do very well to start with.
Yeah.
Because it got shown to an audience and they didn't really click on it. Maybe it wasn't the right time for them. But then 3 or 4 months later, there's a big spike in people watching it because it's tested it again.
Yeah.
And then found the sweet spot for, this video is for this kind of person.
Yeah. And that's what, if you look at my homepage, I've got the first one is the Google Merchant Center sponsored, which is fine. Then the next video is 2 years ago, then 9 days ago, then 1 year ago, then another sponsored one, then 2 months ago, then 2 years ago, then 7 months ago. So it's all varies. This is all long form. Philippa Gunnart, so I follow her. She's 2 days ago, so it's obviously then showing that up. Then the next one, 2 years ago, 7 months, sponsored. So it's then I've got a news channel. It will soon learn that I don't watch the news. But then, yeah, again, there's one, it's come up because I knew someone on the channel. So it's like, well, will you like this? But the theme isn't there. The theme is very social media orientated because it knows what I like and what I look for. But it's trying to throw other things in of just like, well, there's an art channel here. Do you like it? Well, not really, because I'm only on here for Philippa. So it's tested. You can see how it's testing
It's
me.
trying to work you out and
what you're interested in.
And then that's a great example of the range of freshness or how old the video is as well.
Yeah, because if I'm watching something of someone's from 2 years ago, then it will keep pushing their videos to me and be like, oh, if you like that, this is more up to date. You might like this.
Definitely. So I think the verdict from me, I don't know about you, Farley, is
just do it all.
Do it all. is to create.
Record and Repurpose can help you record it.
We sure can. Get in touch today, but is to think about it. If you're thinking about doing content, think about trying to do long form.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a bit more versatility and potentially it's got a lot more life.
Yeah. And if you are, just really niche down and do it about what is your business about. Like Philippa, she started by selling art, then now she teaches art. So that naturally goes into teaching on YouTube. For us, it will naturally go into teaching about social media and videos about social media. I upload my shorts, so where I do an Instagram video, it goes on TikTok and it will go on shorts, the same as the podcast goes on YouTube. So it's gradually building up what works and what doesn't and what we've got. So just give it a go. And as we said, we joke, but genuinely, I couldn't do this podcast without Liam. So Liam does all the editing, the recording, he's got the equipment. So whilst, yes, it's an outgoing for me to sit, I wouldn't do it. Basically, it wouldn't go out. I'd buy the stuff like I do with a lot of stuff and then it still wouldn't happen. So if you can, get someone to help you do it. And that is from someone teaching you, telling you what to buy, or even Liam coming and teaching you how to do it with your own phone. Everyone's got to start somewhere, and then you might build up to, well, actually, no, I want to take my videos to the next level. I do want someone and their equipment and their recording. So, yeah, have a think about that and just make it the best you can. So, but as always, be inspired by stuff. Don't copy it, but just be inspired by what everyone else is doing and see what works for them. So, thanks for that.
Very welcome.
Let's see all the local YouTube videos hopping up. We'll see what happens. So, as always, thanks for listening. If you know someone who's been talking about it for a while and needs to jump on YouTube and get set up, then send them our way, send them a link. But as always, subscribe. And if there's anything We've done a bit of a deep dive into YouTube today, into obviously short form, long form video. But if there is anything more specific or more niche you want to ask about, drop us a message or let us know. And we can bring in an expert and do an episode about it. So speak to you next time. Thanks for listening to this episode. We really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please share with a friend who you think needs a bit of help with starting a business or even their small business, which they've already got going. Please like and subscribe to our podcast, which always helps a small business or small podcast like us. And check the show notes. We all have everything in there relating to the episode, which you might need, might want to read, and links to anyone we've interviewed and certain subjects we've spoken about. And thanks for listening.